Alright, today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to make abalone. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube and I've seen that people don't understand abalone and how to prepare abalone. So I'm going to do a video to show you how to do abalone and talk to you about some techniques that I've learned over the last 30 years. Okay? So first of all, let's look at an abalone shell. This is a legal abalone. It's a 7.19. I didn't pull this, but I did find it. And this is actually a 9-inch abalone. So most abalone you get will probably be about this size or smaller. Okay? What we're going to work with today are some that I got this weekend. This is a 10 and 5/16 inch abalone. This one here goes 10 and an 1/8, and this one here is 10 and 1/32. Okay, so we're going to start off with the little guy, so it's a little more realistic. Like I said, I pulled these yesterday, and what I'm going to use here is my Abalone Iron. This is one of my smaller ones. If you notice, the tip is square. It's not rounded. Okay, if you're pulling bigger abalone, you want a square tip. The round ones tend to roll off the abalone when you're trying to pull them. Also notice this is stainless steel. Okay, you can see that it's bent, and sometimes when you're horking on them underwater, you will bend them when you're pulling this size, and you just pound that back out and it's fine. Okay, on an abalone, this is actually the face or the front of the abalone where it eats seaweed. Okay, so if you look at it, you see the round, you see the holes here. Okay, and the face of the abalone is here, and this is where you want to shuck it. Okay, so you're going to take the iron and you're going to slide it in here. Okay, now use the weight of the abalone to pop it out. 1, 2, 3, and it'll pop right out, and there it is. Okay, so the abalone's out. You can see the shell. All right, now what you're going to do with it from this point is, what I typically do is I look for pearls, and there's a pearl right there. You see that black pearl right there? That is an abalone pearl. So you always want to look for pearls in your abalone. All right, so I'm going to take it and put that right there. So there's one abalone pearl. Let's see if we can find any others. You feel around here. Okay, sometimes you'll find them in the stomach. Okay, no more right there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean it. And so what you do with that is you start and you just kind of go around here. Try not to cut the stomach because you really don't want that all over your meat. But if you get it on there, it's no big deal. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to cut this around here. Okay. Now, some of you old timers are going, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm going to argue with you that you have been taught the wrong way for the last 40 years. This is the proper way to clean an abalone, and you have been making it way too difficult over the last few years. Okay, so there's the stomach, the guts. Now if you go here, you can see the tongue. There's part of the tongue I cut off, and there's the grinders that the abalone grinds up in the seaweed. Okay, this is the abalone that we're going to eat. All right, and from this point we are going to tenderize it, and I'll show you how to tenderize it. All right, so we're going to tenderize this, and that's the trick to making good abalone. Okay, so I just got done shucking the abalone, all right, and I moved around over to the sink here. What I'm doing right now is just rinsing off anything that's on the bottom of the foot. Okay, you can see there's stuff, you know, from the bottom of the ocean there. I'm going to clean off a little bit of this, just rinse this off. Okay, this is the stomach, and like I said, abalone just eats seaweed, so there's nothing worse than seaweed on there. All right, and this is a little bit of the mouth part. Okay, so that's clean. All right, now people are saying, well, you got all that black stuff on there, or you didn't skin it, or whatever else you've been taught or think that you need to do. All you're gonna do now is pound it, okay? And everybody's been taught, oh, it takes forever to pound an abalone. Okay, this is a 10-inch abalone, and I'm gonna show you how to pound this in anywhere from 12 to 20 hits and be done with it. You'll be able to cut it with a plastic fork, okay? How's that sound? So if you're cooking for a bunch of people anymore, it's not gonna take you 3 hours to process a bunch of abalone pounding it. All right, now you say, why are you putting it in the bag? The only reason I'm putting it in the bag is so that when I put it in my pant leg, part of it doesn't get splattered into the pant leg. It still will get splattered into the pant leg, but it's easier to wash, okay, inside or, you know, inside out. Now, if you notice, I laid this abalone square into this pant leg, okay? So I've laid it in there strategically so that where it's mounted to the shell is on the bottom. It's square the long way. I slide it into the pant leg halfway so that I can control the pound. Okay, because I don't just want to fling this thing, I want to control the pound. So when I hit this button on the concrete, it's going to be flat. When I hit the foot on the concrete, it's going to be flat. If you hit it like this, you're going to mush that side. Okay? At some point, I will rotate that in there and do it again in case I am mushing it. Now, if you hit it too hard, you will split the abalone. Literally split it, because it's going to harden up before it softens up, and you will split it if you hit it too hard. Okay? So, I'm going to hit it right here on the ground. Now, this is a controlled hit. Okay? So I'm not just wailing away. And if you notice my hands, I'm keeping them square, and my knuckles are going to be close to the ground, so watch you don't hit your knuckles on the ground. Okay? And people say, can I do this on a log or whatever? Anything hard. Okay? I turn it over, and now I'm hitting it on the button. Okay? And you start feeling it, seeing what it's doing. Okay? You can see how that's still hard. And this is going to take some practice. You're not going to get this right the first time. But as you do it, you will get better and better at it. And before long, you'll be teaching your friends how to do abalone properly. Okay? It's starting to loosen up. You just got to let it loosen up. Notice my hits flat. So I'm hitting that whole thing right on the ground. It's starting to loosen. There it goes. There we go. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see how it's starting to wobble. It's starting to get soft. Now, you can't overpound it where it turns into jello. So you got to be careful of that too. There we go. I think I split it though a little bit. That's okay. It doesn't taste any different. Okay. One more. I'm going to give a couple more hits on this side, and it's done. There we go. Okay, that's done. That whole abalone's been pounded. You do not have to tenderize it anymore. Okay? And we will be cutting this thing with a plastic fork. All right? So, we're going to go from here over to the sink. I'm going to take it out of this bag. This bag has served its purpose. I'm going to rinse it off. Okay, see, talking about cracking it. Okay, I got a little crack going there. All I'm doing is rinsing it off. Okay? I'm not taking any black off it. Okay? Then I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to turn my oil on real quick. This is just a regular pant leg off a pair of Levi's. Okay, so it was a pair of pants. I just cut it off at the length. The reason I put the abalone in the bag is so that it doesn't spray or splatter inside of the pant leg. Okay, and you can see it has a little bit, but if you don't put the bag on it before you put it in the pant leg, you'll never get this stuff out. Okay, so I suggest every other time you turn it like this, wash it. So I pounded it the other way, wash it this way, and then next time pound it, you know, keep going every other time to use the pant leg. And they'll last for a while. Eventually they'll start to tear out, but it's nothing fancy. Don't sew up the ends. I've seen people who try to sew up the ends and then they fling them. You don't have the control and you're just splattering the abalone. You can see I was trying to really control the abalone, so I got an even pound on it. And that's very important so you get it tender and you don't mush it. All right, so just a regular pant leg is all you need.